now. We're talking about fights. I'm not talking about a disagreement. Disagreement is cool. The difference between a disagreement and a fight is when you disagree, you're still kind to the other person. But when you fight, kindness goes out the window, right? You can disagree and you're cool, you're kind. You fight, as I'm talking about fighting, you start to say mean things, you start to raise your voice, you start calling people names, you start avoiding your spouse or avoiding your friends, you start to act in an unkind way. I'm not talking about disagreements in this series, I'm talking about fighting. They weren't just disagreeing, they were straight up fighting. They were trying to overthrow the leadership in the church. Question: who are you fighting with right now in your own life? Is it your spouse? Are you and your spouse fighting right now? About your kids? You fighting with your kids? Kids, you fighting with your parents? Fighting with some friends or a boss? Who are you fighting with? And if you're not fighting with anybody, who do you know that's in a fight right now with their spouse or friends or classmates, roommates, whatever? Who do you know that's in a fight? What if the very fact that we're in a fight proves we're not as wise as we think? And if we're not as wise as we think, what if that shows that maybe we're not as right as we say? You see, if James's first step in breaking up a fight was to try to get them to come to grips with the fact they're not acting wisely, maybe in our own life, maybe in the fight you're in now, you need to convince yourself, hey, the very fact that I'm in this fight may prove I'm not all that wise, and yet the reason I'm in this fight is to convince them that I am.